Welcome to Bastard Quest. I'm the Game Bastard Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey.
I'm Austin.
We are continuing to play the One Ring.
Thankfully.
Moria through the doors of DURIN.
Thanks to the efforts of President Trump, we have returned.
We have returned to you.
That's a joke that'll last about 12 fucking days.
By the time this episode comes out, nobody will know what it means.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a TikTok joke.
God.
But the joke will still last longer than TikTok was down.
But if you're listening to this in 4 years, how did you escape the camps?
If you're just joining Bastard Quest for the first time, you probably want to rewind a couple episodes to when we start playing the One Ring.
Well, I mean, you know, even if you're a member of the intelligence community who is monitoring this podcast for anti-American sentiment, go back to the beginning just so you'll know what's going on.
Yeah.
We praise Al-Qaeda.
Wait,
Austin, who are you playing?
I'm Zip Farron, the uppity dwarf.
Is he uppity?
Well, most dwarves are not uppity. They're rather short, but he's a little violent.
Yeah, I always thought of Zip as particularly blue collar, even for a dwarf.
Absolutely.
Like, he's never washed his hands.
He's never peed.
No.
And not because he hasn't thought about it. It's because so many people keep telling him, wash your fucking hands.
Smells like a D.
Todd, who are you playing?
Bungo, Tuk, and Hobbit.
The name is never not
How is
amusing.
it still funny?
It's
We're like 3 years into this shit.
it is so appropriate. Corey?
I'm playing Easel Hen, the elf. Future prop comic.
Yeah, Easel has been working on his repertoire of jokes. His solid 5 minutes.
Yeah, killing it.
You're now in the shadow of the Misty Mountains.
That's a big-ass mountain.
You're approaching Moria from the west, as the Fellowship of the Ring will do in many years to come. But of course, your heroes have no idea of that future. For now, you only know that you carry the Ring of DURIN.
Well, Ezel senses something on the wind and etches into a rock. Don't bring Bill.
Well, it's interesting that you mentioned that, Corey.
Oh.
Because our mounts have all died.
Well, yeah, you cannot take mounts into Moria.
Oh, okay. So their vigor is not going to apply while we're traveling.
Indeed, no.
Okay, well, the first thing Bungo is going to do is rub Colby down with Vapor Rub.
Yes, ponies and other beasts of burden will not accompany into the dark unless they are truly exceptional animals.
No.
Exceptional in what way?
Well, the example is a brie pony, or unless a player hero achieves a magical success on an Enhearten roll.
So did we know this when we departed Austin's deal?
There's no way we did.
No. You
Well,
wouldn't.
Gandalf didn't tell us anything. But what I'm saying is, could we have left them with the Rohirrim?
Yeah, you could have. You could have left them with Hess, the ranger.
Oh, I see.
Oh, did Hess not come with us?
No.
What the fuck?
No.
What, do we get the moth?
No.
No,
Not even the moth.
Oh, well.
No, as you approach through the foothills, the first outpost you see is this stairwell.
The horse drop station.
The livery stable.
It's just a stable with an Enterprise sign.
You see the walls of Moria, this sheer cliff, and extending out from it is a raised stone path, a stream running beneath it, and that ends at a stairs that goes down to essentially a very small assembly of buildings that from where you are appear derelict and empty. Austin, Zip knows that this is where some of the dwarves but dwelled for a time when they thought Moria might be able to be retaken. The Balrog actually apparently didn't come into the westernmost reaches of Moria, and those were inhabited for some time after Dwareldelf was essentially destroyed and all the dwarves there were slaughtered.
Yeah. I think Gandalf does mention that in the movie, doesn't he?
He may.
By the way, a bit of lore you might not be aware of. Do you know what Gandalf's first name is? Boots. Boots Gandalf.
Yeah,
I remember reading that in the Silmarillion.
Yakety staffs.
We call him Bootsy.
And so as you make your way down the hill toward these abandoned buildings, you do see a familiar figure standing amidst them. It is indeed, as Todd presaged, Gandalf the Grey.
Oh, Mithrandir, it's wonderful to see you again. You said we would not meet again until Sloppy Don's Harvest Hump Fest.
Well, I may have embellished some of the truth. Come. And he takes you inside one of these abandoned buildings. There's a fire in the hearth. There's been some attempt to clean it up.
There's sexy music playing in the background.
What did they need to clean up?
No. Well, it looks like it's been swept out and a little bit repaired. It looks like it's been done very recently. And you see Hess is there as well. And again, I was it may have been somewhat ambiguous about what you're actually going to be doing in Moria. Please, come. We have much to discuss.
I'm always ready to come.
So, wow. So Gandalf sits you down and says, Zip, the ring, if you will.
Yeah, I have it.
Oh, time for spankings.
Yes. If you could take it out, please, that would be wonderful.
I'm way ahead of you, Mithrandir.
Behold. Real quick, are we 100% sure this is Gandalf?
Yes. Yeah.
Prove it. Drop them.
So that we don't go on a 20-minute aside of you attempting to interrogate this character, yes, it's Gandalf.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All right, so Zip turns around so that everybody can't see as he gets the ring out.
What was he keeping it on?
No.
We know. We all know.
You guys, it was a long journey, and my pockets are tiny.
Gandalf says, the ring of DURIN.
Yeah, you might want to throw that into the fire first before you pick it up.
No, you can hold on to it.
Cool.
Because it is a forgery.
What?
Done a great deal of research and interrogated some old works and friends, and I believe it is not the actual Ring of DURIN, but a very, very enchanted copy. Work I would not have believed could have been done on Middle-earth after the fall of Ost-in-Edil and the death of Celebrimbor. Saved by the Dark Lord himself, but I do not believe it was his work either. I believe that in the latter days of Moria, the dwarves there were more enterprising than we knew. And what I would have you hunt out in Moria would be the lost citadel of the ringsmiths.
Oh, so we gotta try to find the forge where they reverse engineered the ring of DURIN?
Yes, I am of the opinion, and certain others of my peers agree, it is likely that the dwarves, always cunning in craft and the making of things, sought to emulate Celebrimbor's great work, and perhaps succeeded more than we know.
So make more than just the, 3 that were given to the dwarves?
3 to elves, 7
3
to
to elves,
dwarves.
7 to the dwarves.
So I would have you seek out knowledge, and perhaps this copy, this forgery, might lead you to its home, or aid you in some way.
I see. So what do you want us to do if we find the forge?
There is only one creature in Middle-earth now that retains the knowledge of the fashioning of such rings. So such knowledge to be replicated would have been no use to him. So if possible, I would have you bring it out. It might hold secrets that we could use, but if not, it should not be allowed to fall into the wrong hands. Even hands that might seem to otherwise be on our side. He is essentially alluding that he does not want Saruman
Yeah.
to get his hands on it.
So then the main idea needs to be see if we can get the forge itself out, or perhaps the essence of whatever it is that gives it the capability to produce rings of this nature, or if all else fails, destroy it.
Yeah, so he doesn't know exactly what it will be. He's just convinced that of 2 things. This is a forgery, and it had to have been done by the dwarves of Moria. So somewhere in there is some trove, something of the ringsmiths that made it.
Okay.
So tell me, Mithrandir, is there a reason you don't trust Saruman? Is it because he kisses closed mouth?
Yes.
No.
That's...
Yes.
in truth, Fred Diesel, I can put no great confirmation to my suspicions, but...
He's just frigid.
Some minds are best left untempted.
Oh, yes.
It's like I can't keep ho-hos in the house anymore.
Yes,
I
could tell those cheeks weren't opening for me. No matter how many times I said friend in Elvish.
Exactly. Wait,
which hobbit is Ho-Ho?
I think it's a clown.
Oh, no.
Performed on my birthday, did.
Ah, yes, I now worship this man, the funniest hobbit ever to live.
So Gandalf bids you take out the map that he gave you and shows you where he thinks it might be found.
And dear God, a gorgeous fucking map comes with this game.
Yeah, this is
everything
amazing.
in the One Ring thus far has been beautiful, and this is no different. It's fucking amazing. We'll post it on the socials.
This is on a whole other level. The map itself is plenty elaborate and kind of rendered in the same way that it would be in universe. But on top of that, the actual motif surrounding the map and in the type and everything is indicative of the Moria you see in the movies, and it is gorgeous.
very cool.
It's pretty nuts.
Continue kudos to the creators of this game. They've done a fucking fantastic job.
Yeah. In addition to the actual map you see inside the mountain of the varying paths to go to, there is a corresponding elevation map just below it that gives you a much greater sense of exactly how gargantuan this mega dungeon really is.
Well, and if you look on the scale, half of Moria is about 20 miles long.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So Gandalf tells you a few things. One, he believes that this repository must be in Western Moria. And if you go to the Great West Cave, you've gone too far.
Okay. Kyle, does that correspond with one of these numbers on the map?
It does. That is number 24.
I see it. Okay. So we'll be venturing into this is about a fifth of the distance across the mountain.
Yeah. He recommends searching in the levels beneath the imperishable hall.
Okay. All right. Well, you guys, this will be fine. We can knock this out like a half a dude.
We took 4 episodes to get here.
You know what? You're right.
So, Kyle, you did allude to there are different travel rules for traveling through Moria. Do we want to get to
Yes.
that yet, or do we want to hold off on that?
Yeah, we're going to do that shortly. But if you guys have any more questions for Gandalf, this would be the time, because he is going to depart because I'm not sending a wizard with you.
Of course.
Shit.
Well, he's got to leave to essentially maintain the deception, right?
Oh, yeah. Is that what he does? Maintains the deception?
For my purposes.
When he runs?
Yeah.
Okay.
Look, if these guys die,
Gotta go pet the eagles, I guess. Keep them happy.
My job is to venture off and do wizard things for most of the plot. Your job is to drive it to a third act climax so that I can show up once more.
He's gonna go hang out with Ho-Ho, the Hobbit clown.
And those 2 blue wizards that don't do shit.
His first name is Scabby.
Scabby ho-ho.
Oh,
Scabby Ho-Ho,
dear
yeah.
Lord, I don't like him.
He decided to be a clown because he has really bad eczema, so he was always covered in white
anyway,
powder and lotion.
yeah.
Got
I
it.
just sit around smoking pot around one of the Gondor beacons.
So do you have any questions for Gandalf?
I mean, many, I'm sure, but the
Well, I mean, the one thing we know as human beings that have seen The Lord of the Rings, you can't just walk into Moria.
Correct.
And I suspect us being well-traveled individuals, walking into a Dwarven kingdom, Zip would definitely know.
Yeah.
It's probably, you don't just knock and walk in. So maybe we ask him if there's a safe way to enter.
I would posit maybe it's just a flat stone door when we get there, but it's one of our practical joke ideas that, that put a riddle on the door and make up Cybellin.
That's not bad.
No, I would imagine, Corey, you're right, that Zip will know of the general lore surrounding the abandonment of Moria. Kyle, is it common knowledge of what lies within the mountain?
No.
Okay.
No,
Yeah,
not
because
at all.
the Fellowship didn't even know when they went in. Not even Gimli knew.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right.
So I think apparently our canon is Gandalf didn't tell him shit was fucked up in there.
Well, I don't think even Gandalf knows.
Well,
The
Gandalf forgot the
extent-
fucking password.
Yeah.
Well, he definitely didn't know there was a Balrog and all kinds of other things.
Yeah, he knows it's... you get the impression that Gandalf knows it is something far worse than orcs.
Yes.
It's something dark and terrible, but yeah, he doesn't realize
Does he
it's a
think
Balrog.
there's still some kind of remnants of dwarven society there? Because they were all kind of shocked when they walk into Moria.
Yeah, they were expecting a welcome.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So Balin's expedition has not happened yet.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. I think that happened some years after this.
So we're the fodder that's sent ahead.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay, so there's many layers to this then that I didn't know about. So I, of course, knew about the lost city, but so Balin was not the original inhabitor and like one of the architects of Moria. He was just in an expedition already exploring what were already ruins.
Okay, so I'll give you a very brief backstory of Moria and as it relates to Erebor, the Lonely Mountain.
Okay.
So Moria is the original dwarven city. It was founded by DURIN the First. As far as I know, it is like the most important holy place for dwarves.
It was the big mithril.
And as far as I know, it's the only place in Middle Earth where mithril is found.
Ah.
The dwarves lived there for years. Like it endured through the first War of the Ring. Or I guess probably not the first one, but the one where the one we see at the beginning of Lord of the Rings, where it's Elendil and what's the dude's name that cuts off Sauron's fingers? Isildur.
Yeah.
It endures
the
through
War
that.
of the First Age or something.
Yeah, something like that. It endures through that. It endures through the wars between Arnor and the Witch King of Angmar, and it falls like very suddenly. Like it's not clear if the dwarves unearth the Balrog, or if the Balrog simply chooses to come up at that moment.
All right, enough of this.
Yeah.
I have had it. They've been digging and keeping me up, and I'm tired of it. And so says Balrog.
And so...
If we run into him, can that be his
Yeah, absolutely.
So says Balrog.
Absolutely.
I tell you what.
And so Moria falls, the core of the heart of Moria falls in like less than a year. It's just this brutal bloodbath. And so, the dwarves flee. Some of them go to live in the Blue Mountains or other dwarven holds. And apparently they linger in the western parts of Moria for quite a while, trying to figure out some way to reclaim it and eventually give it up and go to Erebor, the Lonely Mountain, and build the kingdom under the mountain.
Okay. That's some information I never had. I always just assumed from what I had seen of the movies that Erebor was one of the mountains residing over top of Moria.
No.
Okay.
And so when Erebor fell and they flee that, they do try to reclaim Moria then, and it fails.
Gotcha.
But they don't face the Balrog. It's just orcs at that point.
Right. Yeah.
Why is it everywhere we go, we have to fight a fire monster?
And then after Gandalf engineers the reclamation of Erebor via Bilbo Baggins and Thorin Oakenshield, some years later, Balin, son of Hundin, takes an expedition to Moria because many of the orcs that were in Moria show up at the Battle of Five Armies and get slaughtered.
Gotcha.
Right, but they were riding pretty high and like, we beat a dragon, we can kick anybody's ass. We'll go back to Moria. Yeehaw!
Well, not really. That
Fuck
one dude.
fire. Do we need a hobbit? Hell no.
So it is largely believed among, say, the captains of the West that the orcs of Moria are very depopulated right now, and people have ventured into Moria in lesser expeditions and survived or made it through to the other side. So, for example, there's a
bunch of teenagers would do it as dares.
Yeah. Well, there was an old man.
Going to old man Durin's place.
Yeah.
Well, it makes me think of all those treks into Dwemer territory you take in Skyrim.
Kind of. It's similar. So I guess the Balin expedition, they were reasonably thinking this is a good time to try to reclaim Moria because the orcs are at their weakest.
They turned it into a judgment house.
Yeah. And none of them knew about the Balrog.
Gotcha.
So.
What else can you tell us about the Lord of the Rings?
Well, in the first age,
Yes.
when it came to the fashioning of the Silmarils, the Noldor elf. I don't know. I actually don't know a lot about that.
Yeah, I tried to read that book one time.
I was
like, I got this.
Yeah.
Everybody tells me not to try. And they were right.
Yeah.
Because it's not even good.
Well, it wasn't. I mean, it was never arranged by Tolkien as a work, right? It was just all his notes and stuff that after his death, the publisher was like, hey, what if we...
What's all this orgy talk?
But I just can't imagine, like, that kind of world building. It's just like one guy, and he creates like this entire world and this entire history for it and everything. Whenever I've taken on a writing project or something, I'm always like, if there's only 2 characters, there's not as much dialogue I have to write.
That's true.
Yeah. I'm sitting around thinking, like, what can I put in the background
Yeah.
that just tells them what happened the last 50 years?
Yeah.
Well, and his publisher, when he got the first manuscript, it was like, what the fuck what is he talking about? Filmarillion. This guy's horny.
So one of the things I thought was cool about this book, Moria Through the Doors of DURIN, and like the section where they're talking about the Balrog, they also talk about, in Tolkien's notes, there's like 3 or 4 different horrible monsters it could have been before he finally settles on the Balrog.
Oh.
Because like at one point in his notes, it's a ring wraith.
Okay.
That is the monster in Moria.
Yeah.
And then at some point it becomes the Balrog, and of course that is where it stayed.
You mean he kept writing more and more of the story, so he had to make the monster bigger and bigger and bigger?
Yeah, maybe. It could have been.
Well, I used the ring rates over here
Yeah.
to stab
wait,
somebody
the-
on top of a tower.
Oh, wait, the ring race, you just have to throw a torch at him.
Yeah. Well, look, those robes are old.
Well,
They're flammable.
stinky.
They're mostly made out of tar.
He's smoking his pipe. He's like, perhaps a werewolf? No.
What about a Frankenstein?
Perhaps a tardigrade.
How about a zombie, but it runs? No, that's foolish.
Foolish. That is insane.
People in the early 2000s will be mad. Even though it's kind of the coolest zombies.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it.
I will make Cillian Murphy an entire career off of this.
And then he will create the atom bomb. What are we doing? Can we play the game?
Full circle on Tolkien.
Let's play the game.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to write about hairy feet.
Wise.
All right. So
basically, I think the last question we asked Gandalf was his recommendation on entering the mines.
yeah. So given where you are outside the walls of Moria,
And then he went into this long.
yeah,
It's his fucking fault.
he does tell you that there is a hidden door on this side, the west side. You just go up the stairs, follow the path, leads right to it. It was built so the dwarves could more easily communicate and trade with the elves of Holland.
2 blue jays have to hump in front of it for it to open.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Well, one has to be a robin.
Okay.
One has to be a blue jay.
They have to create a new bird.
But he tells you he knows that the door is there, though he can't quite remember how to open it, but he's sure you'll figure it out.
God damn this high motherfucker.
His eyes are super bloodshot.
God damn it, Bungo.
Oh, sorry.
I believe the password is cantaloupe.
Okay.
Something of that nature.
No, that's not right. Anyway.
That was your safe word, Mithrandia.
That's why fruit can't get married. Cantaloupe.
Hold on, I'm writing that down, Bungo. As your Padawan,
So are any of you going to attempt to make an Enhearten roll to get your beasts of burden to go? But can any of you actually make attempt a magical Enhearten roll? I don't.
Well, Kyle, Bungo has his chain, sapphire chain. It gives him a +2 die to awe and Enhearten rolls. And it also gives him the ability to achieve magical success.
Okay. I don't think we've had a magical success.
Well, not since the last Gandalf orgy.
No.
yeah, boy howdy.
Behold.
So, in the One Ring, when a character has an artifact or the ability to cast spells or et cetera, when the rules specifically call out, like your chain does, that they can have a magical success, what that means is, what were the skills for yours?
Awe and Enhearten.
Oh, okay. So perfect. So if you wanted to try to Enhearten Colby to follow you into Moria, what you would have to do is spend a hope. You don't roll the D12, the Gandalf die, because what we're really testing to see, it doesn't matter at that point what the target number is. What you're rolling is all your D6s
See if you get any successes.
to see if you get any successes.
Gotcha.
And they're magical successes. So you don't add up anything. You're just rolling to see if you get magical successes.
Okay, cool. I will do that because I would like to have my trusty asthmatic steed by my side in the mines.
Yeah, and I would like
Yeah, walking these rickety-ass bridges.
Yep.
Yeah, all right.
What problem is there going to be when a Balrog smells fresh horse?
Okay, so that drops my hope down to 11.
Okay.
Just good, plenty of hope. And hearten is 2, and I get +2 die, so that's going to be 4 d6s.
That's right. And you don't roll the feat die on this one.
No. Well, I did not roll any 6s.
Colby immediately has a massive asthma attack. Hess comes over, comforts him. We better get him away from the foul airs of this mountain.
Quick, Stuart, mouth to mouth. Oh no, he can't open his. Damn you, tetanus.
Bungo reaches into his pack and is like, here's some breathe right strips to put on him. And
Mithrandia, can you watch after our shitty steeds while we're gone?
I can, of course, yes.
Here's Stuart. Here's the car jack that you used to open his mouth to feed him. Yes,
I'm just going to get him a milkshake or something.
and that will work as well.
I'll take them with me to Bree. I have to get more weed in the Shire.
Ah, yes. Well, we'll meet you back up there.
If you live, of course. I mean, good luck.
Ron Howard voice. Kenny went on to become Shadowfax.
Okay, so you're going to delve into Moria. So, Austin, looking at the map, do you want to trace out a rough path of where you're heading first?
All right, so based off of Kyle's instructions before, our main goal as far as the first phase of travel and our main benchmark for orientation is the Imperishable Hall, which is, Kyle, you said about 3 miles inside the mountain?
Yeah, give or take.
Now, that is a straight shot from the entrance. There is literally just a straight path that goes all the way to the Imperishable Hall. And it looks like right before that, there is an atrium where 2 paths branch off on either side that seem to lead to the branching off areas that are probably the paths below the hall itself. It's kind of hard to tell comparing the elevation to the overhead, but I believe that most of these branching paths are probably those 3 to 4 levels directly below the hall itself.
Okay. So, like any journey, we have our travel rolls, except there is no hunter.
Every room in Moria is filled with snack cakes. Little Debbie, Big Debbie.
Well, instead, there is a delver.
Oh.
Yeah, whose function is to ensure the safety of the marching company, inspecting tunnels, monitoring environmental conditions, and in general, mitigating risk. The main skill they use is craft.
Okay. Is this you introducing an old prospector? Don't mind me, I'm just Delver.
Named Delmer.
Delmer to Delver.
No, unfortunately for you, it has to be one of you.
Okay,
Okay.
What is the skill?
Craft.
So I have craft of 2, and I'm favored in it.
Oh, great. A 2-roll Austin thing again. Is that what's happening?
Well, I am usually the guide and the scout. Somebody else could be the scout if they wanted to, and I could be the delver.
Well, the guide requires travel. Mine's not great. I have 1 in travel.
Well, my travel's 3, and I'm favored in it.
Yeah.
That's why I usually do guide.
Yeah. I mean, it's fine if that remains the same.
Bungo has nothing in travel. His craft is a 1, and he's favored in it, so Austin has the best craft.
So do you want Zip to be the delver?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I assume Easel will remain the lookout.
Correct.
So Bungo is the scout then.
Yes.
Alrighty.
With a 1 in Explore.
All right. So then Kyle is the first order of business, me rolling our travel.
It is, as with most journeys, we open with travel.
All right. Can't forget that I'm fucking favored, so I get to roll 2d12.
Also, would like to remind everyone that I have maps.
Oh, yeah. So +1 to rolls on
all feat rolls.
reconcile. All right. So then I'm rolling 2d12 and 3d6. Target number is a 16. All right. That's a total of 19 with 1 success.
Okay, Austin, roll a d6.
Okay. It's a 2.
So the 3 of you open the western door and enter into the long dark of Moria. You pass through ancient, empty halls full of cold stone and long shadows.
Behold, creepy shit.
Yes. The halls of Moria are utterly silent. Occasionally you might hear the running of water somewhere in the distance or a errant tap, 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 but nothing for long. You make your way through the halls of West Moria. As you near the Imperishable Hall, you locate a stairs and delve into the darkness beneath them. The first event roll will be a scout roll, an explore.
That would be Bungo. I will be rolling 2d6 and 1d12.
And you are not wearied anymore, right?
I am not.
Okay.
Target number is 16. And that's a 10.
Cool.
If only Kobe were here. By the way, before shit gets too fucked up, I would like to tell you a joke, my friends.
Bring it on.
How many dead babies does it take to fill Moria?
I don't know.
I don't either. It's terrible to even think about these things. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Terrible. My father was a baby. Actually, I think elves just kind of pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Todd, once when Bungo is scouting briefly ahead, very stealthily, he stops at an intersection, and the silence of the city somehow becomes louder and heavier. The beating of Bungo's heart and the sound of his breathing seems overwhelmingly loud and intrusive. Every noise is bizarrely magnified, as if he were trespassing in some holy place. He feels, without seeing or hearing, some terrible thing watching him from the shadows. He takes 1 shadow point,
Oh.
and that is all. No one else takes any fatigue.
I feel great.
So,
Oh, and I didn't think these edibles was shit.
but you guys have reached the halls, the corridors and chambers beneath the imperishable hall. So now you can begin to seek and find, which is a specific mechanic in the game, for a secret chamber.
Okay.
This is a scan test.
Ooh, okay. Zip has a scan of 3, but I assume we can all make this?
Anybody can attempt it. However, since what you're seeking out is hidden, it can only be found with a magical success.
Oh, wow. Okay, so would there be any ways that Bungo could assist Zip?
Well, can any of you make a magical scan test?
That's what I was about to ask. If we don't have a weapon or an item, we can't really use a magical success.
Yes.
And Bungo's magical item only uses Enhearten and Awe, if I remember correctly.
It does, but Enhearten, I would say, could logically boost maybe other efforts that we make if he's able to achieve a magical success.
He's not wrong. Enheartening is basically scanning your heart.
Well, I
Is
mean,
that right?
Enhearten as in, that's usually what gives us a boost during like combat or
Does that work, Kyle?
No.
Okay.
No.
shit. Okay, so
No.
I don't know what options are really open to us if we don't have.
Well,
Well, can we use our virtues? Would that give us any kind of... I don't think it specifically says magical success, but...
maybe you should have listened to Gandalf, what Gandalf said in his earlier monologue
He said so much.
about what might help you find the lost citadel of the ringsmiths.
Well, he said the ring would be drawn to it, but how could I mechanize that?
Well, I don't know. Maybe you could put it on Sauron Jr. Try that shit out. Well, I got to do everything.
Okay. It probably is worth mentioning. Zip has been wearing the ring.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so then we could see if that gives me all the help I need. So I'm not favored in it, but I do have a pretty high skill in it. So
Well, remember, this is you have to have a magical success. So you'd have to spend a point of hope and then roll the D6s for your scan.
oh, okay, so that is what enables that for me. Okay,
Yes.
great.
Yes.
Okay, so then I'll spend a point of hope. There's 1 success.
Okay. In one empty series of halls in the corridors of West Moria, you find a series of there are chambers. These chambers have clearly been looted by orcs and thieves over the centuries. Little treasure remains here, but it seems clear to you at a glance that dwarves of great wealth once dwelt here. You examine the carvings and the crumbling frescoes, and each image of a dwarf lord and smith seated on thrones is wearing a ring, each with always a tiny gemstone or a fleck of polished metal of different substance to distinguish the ring from the rest of the artwork, as if signifying that these rings are of a different order to the rest. And then, in one corridor that seems like it should lead deeper into this hall of mysteries, it simply ends at a wall of blank stone. There's a skeleton of a tall man lying against the wall, and remnants of mismatched armor suggest he might have been a warrior of note. There's also a broken sword lying nearby. The journey is over and the adventure begins. What would you like to do?
So, fellas, if you'll gather around me, I can kind of just feel that this is it somewhere around here.
Okay.
I think it's a tradition in Moria. If you'll just kind of sit out over there, I'm gonna sit here and think a while.
Mind if I play me recorder while you think?
Yes.
Okay, so Zip picks up the broken sword, first of all, to see if there's anything inherently informative about it, if there are, like runes carved into the blade or anything of that nature.
So there's nothing particular about the sword, but when you pick it up, you see that there's been something scratched into the stone beneath it.
Excellent. Zip lights his flintlock torch and peers in close to see what that says.
So it looks as if a rough circle has been scratched into the stone, and what might be a rune inside the circle. The rune stands for S or H, depending on the different tradition.
S or H, depending on the tradition of, like, what kind of dwarf would have made the rune?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like what generation of dwarf?
Yeah, well, I'm assuming it means, there's probably different,
Gen D.
So Zip removes his heavy glove, and we see the ring around his thick middle finger. And he just makes a fist, and he touches the ring to that rune inside the circle to see if it immediately reveals anything else or if anything happens.
Balrog time.
Nothing. I mean, it does make the faint sound of metal tapping against stone, but nothing happens other than that. When you tap it against the stone floor.
Are there any other runes on the floor other than this one?
Corey, you can make a scan roll if you wish to search around.
Or could I use lore?
I mean, you could use lore if you find something.
Okay, I have a 1 in scan.
Do you want to spend any hope?
No, I'm going to hold on to my hope. Target number was 14, got a 12 with 1 success.
You do not spot any other runes of this nature in the floor. However, you do feel the faintest, barely perceptible breeze blowing through almost imperceptible cracks in the stone wall.
Okay.
All right, so Zip stands, and instead of touching the floor, sees what happens when he places his ring hand up against the stone wall.
There is a magical illumination as the outline of a door appears in the wall, and words in Elvish appear. This you are, and to this you return.
Shit, I got my hopes up. What the fuck does that mean?
Appears to be some sort of riddle. Perhaps I can figure it out.
All right.
Yeah, suss that shit out, Hobbit.
So I have a 4 in riddle, and I'm favored.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I feel like you guys could do this with your brains.
While he's making the roll.
And target number was 16, and I rolled a 17.
Okay. Did you get any successes?
I did not.
Then I'll give you a clue. This was made by dwarves, and the door is made of stone.
Yeah.
That's the clue.
Yeah. And it says, this you are, and to this you return.
Does this mean that all dwarves are made out of stone?
Well, I mean, dwarves did come from the earth. They were created from the earth.
That's correct. By Ayule, I think, is the god that made them.
Yeah.
It's not the main god. It's like the smith god or something.
The worst one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real jerk.
Yeah.
If we know dwarves are made from the earth, do we just try and give as a password just the dwarvish word for earth?
Or just hug the door.
Kyle Zip continues touching the wall and just mutters the dwarvish word for stone.
There's a mighty crack.
Oh, see that? He told you it was made of stone.
The hinges of the door appear.
Oh, I didn't know he was so rock hard. We'll
And
have to invite him to the next party.
Behold, motherfuckers.
Oh, God. And it opens easily beneath Zip's fingers.
Easily.
I'm going to shave you. I'm glad we can speak this way, my friends. Far too long have I hid my kinks. Very horny.
The elves usually are.
Yes. Lick your butt.
Austin, the opening of this secret door in the cold dark of Moria, long has it lain under the shadow, counts as a great spell of shadow sorcery. So, You're going to take some shadow unless you can resist
Oh, I've got virtue for that.
with a wisdom test.
All right.
A shadow test of wisdom.
Okay, so I have a 3 rating in wisdom. Does that just mean I roll 3d6 along with the feat die?
Yeah, I believe so.
Okay. Zip also has the virtue of untamable spirit, which gives him plus 1d when resisting darkness. So I don't think there's any way to be favored in this, so I'm just rolling 1d12 and 4d6. Target number for wits, I'm assuming that's going to be my target number here, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so target number for wits is a 15. And that's a total of 19. No extra successes there.
Then you only take 2 points of shadow.
Ugh. Okay.
Where's your shadow at?
That's sitting at a pretty 7.
What's your hope?
9.
Oh, God. So he can get a shadow scar as the next, if he crosses over that boundary.
Yeah, and plus he becomes miserable.
Miserable?
You step into a hall of staggering beauty. This is Khazad-dûm, as it was at the height of its wealth and power.
Oh, goddamn.
Unbroken lamps of crystal blaze, illuminating a hall of black marble where twisted pillars support a roof of silver. 7 great thrones are arranged in a staggered wedge at one end of the hall around a small plinth wrought of mithril where rings were once laid. The rotten remnants of perished velvet cushions are one of the few reminders that this place has been left empty and abandoned for 1,000 years. There are corridors leading off from this great hall into darkness. The air is stale. You are definitely the first people to be here since Moria fell, and we will end there for tonight.
This place is hot.
Once again, just one of my favorite games that we've played on this podcast, honestly.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really like it.
It's honestly no surprise to encounter such good world building and lore just kind of out there waiting for us as we explore. But man, the system just lends itself to having so much fun with several different challenges instead of, a lot of times, over the years I've learned to stick to only my character's strengths so that I don't fail quite so often. And this one really forces you to go out on a limb several times, and I really appreciate that.
And I'm realizing we forgot about our dog, El Repo.
El Repo.
Yeah, we forgot about him. We left him at home, apparently.
We did.
Yeah.
When did you guys get a dog?
Yule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But he wasn't my dog, so it's not my fucking problem.
He's all dog.
Yeah.
Fucking piece of shit.
You agreed to fate it yourself.
Yeah, but
It's a
you
responsibility.
Because you got the leaves full of bread.
take him
and
out to
shit.
go boomsies. God damn it. Well, I hope Gilrayan's taking care of the dog. We've abandoned all of our animals. I've abandoned my child.
I was about to say, just as we realize it, we hear booming barks echoing through the mine.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, he just goes running across the fucking Khazad-dûm bridge.
Tackles a Balrog. Yeah, I'm a big fan. I was traveling this past weekend, and I took the Moria book with me and got to read more of what I hadn't in preparation for this. And
I'm glad you finally read it.
Yeah.
5 episodes in.
yeah, I mean, there's given the format of our show,
Sure.
there's a ton we are not going to get to. And I was telling the guys this earlier. You could play a complete One Ring campaign, a very satisfying one, and never leave Moria.
Yeah, the book is the exact same size as the core book. It is
Yeah.
massive.
Yeah. And obviously there's more in this book than Tolkien actually developed. And I have to say, like, I was wondering, how Tolkien-esque are they going to make it? Is it going to feel like it fits? And so far, all the stuff that they've created really fits seamlessly into Tolkien's world, and it all makes sense.
Yeah. And I'm excited for the next expansion, which is the Elvish Realms expansions. I think it's the 3 Kings or whatever.
Is it really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's the next one that's coming out.
Is that gonna be-
You can pre-order it now, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Is that going to be more about...
Elves.
Well, I know that there is a Rivendell book already.
Yeah, this is full on like the Elven Kingdoms.
So like Lothlorien and Mirkwood,
I'm pretty sure.
I assume.
Yeah.
And I guess there's the core book is mainly Eriador, and it has some about there's an Elvish kingdom to the west of the Shire, but it's kind of, obviously it's
There's Lorien, there's Rivendell.
Strike up that classical music and knock up that title card. The gang burns down Rivendell.
Linden is basically the woodland realm where like Legolas comes from.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
Linden is to the west of the Shire. That's in this book. I'm pretty sure that's what it is.
Yeah, the new one that's coming, and it's up for pre-order, is the Realms of the Three Rings, which it alludes to the leaders
okay.
of the Elven kingdoms.
Yeah, the 3 that were given.
So that'll be cool. Maybe we'll play that.
Yeah, that's super cool.
So I think Elrond has one,
Galadriel.
Galadriel
was given one.
and Gandalf.
Yeah, he stole the other one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
They never found the guy.
Gandalf just knifing a dude in the alley for one of the rings of power.
Nothing to see.
I need that. I'm a wizard.
Yeah. I was high.
I did a lot of meth back in those days. That's cool. I'm going to have to pre-order it.
Yep. Here we go. Thanks, patrons.
Yeah.
No, for real. I mean, we got the Moria book. We got every game for the past 3 fucking years because of your support on Patreon.
Yeah. And we
Man.
got stuff up in the wings.
Oh my God, we got so much shit, and we got to buy shit that you guys have suggested to us, which is awesome. And I'm pretty damn sure you guys have asked us to play the One Ring again, so
Yeah.
we're very happy to do so.
Absolutely. You know what else we're happy to do? We're happy to shine a spotlight every week on NorseFoundry.com. Go to NorseFoundry.com. You'll find all manner of dice for your gaming needs. It's made out of all manner of materials, all different colors, sizes, and shapes. And when you check out, make sure you enter promo code CHAM. That's CHAM. CHAM to receive the Bastard Quest 10% discount at NorseFoundry.com.
When you shop at Norse Foundry, you're chamly. How about that one, guys?
Yeah.
I'm just surprised we haven't done it before.
This year's spotlight is on the Mithril die.
Yeah.
We're not going to lie. There's only one set. It's expensive, and Martin Scarelli already bought it.
We'd also like to thank our sponsor, Barrel and Bond, 100 Broadway Street in beautiful downtown Paducah, right there on the banks of the Ohio River.
That's actually where our dog is.
They do have a new barrel pick I tried the other night from Russell Reserve, and it was dynamite. Fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
It was
It's
a
been a while
hot.
since I've had Russell Reserve.
Yeah, they haven't been able to do a ton of barrel picks. COVID kind of fucked shit up because I've been lucky enough to go on some. You go to the distillery and they wheel out like anywhere from 4 to a dozen fucking barrels, and you taste them barrel strength, and then you taste them with a little water to see how it's going to be cut once they bottle it. But Barrel and Bond and the Paducah Bourbon Society got to choose a new barrel of Russell Reserve, so they got bottles for sale and by the pour over there right now. Really good.
Yeah, bourbon barrel picks are one of the greatest things to ever
And
happen.
dangerous.
Yeah.
But why, Corey?
Because you die
Oh.
if you drink them.
So in short, we hope you like bourbon, and we thank you for all of your support.
Yeah. Thanks you for listening. Thank you for engaging with us on social media. Thanks for reviewing.
Yeah, we're going to play the One Ring for a bit longer, for sure. And then I think we're going to get back into some other familiar territory.
Yes, we have many fine things planned.
Yeah. It's very fitting that kind of feel like punching Nazis again.
Well, he's talking about Octun Cthulhu.
Probably.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Thanks for listening. I'm Kyle.
I'm Todd.
Corey?
I'm Austin.